doing? Hello everybody. Today we're making this dry aged ribeye steak. So it's been dry aged for 45 days. So we're expecting some of those more blue cheesy flavors. So yeah. Hello. Hey everybody. How's everyone doing? Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be making this dry aged ribeye. It's been aged for 45 days. I don't know if you guys can see it here. It's written on this side of the bag. USDA choice grade. And yeah. So if you guys saw, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I did a dried ribeye video. So this has been vacuum sealed and frozen for about 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months. But yeah, it's finally time to cook this up. So yeah, it's been a while, but I'm doing good. How's everyone doing? I'm subscribed. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this open here. What I do is I double seal the vacuum bags. That way, just in case it didn't seal properly on one side, it seals properly on the other side. You know, just as an added layer of protection. So we'll go ahead and cut this open with our kitchen shears. And let's see. Yeah, I can definitely smell that dry agey flavor for sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's put that here. Okay. So this is what we got. It's a pretty thick steak, about maybe 1¼ inches thick. So dry aged steaks cook a little bit faster than regular steaks, just because we did suck out all that moisture. This doesn't have much marbling, but if you look really closely, you'll see it's more apparent than regular USDA choice beef. USDA choice is just like your average supermarket beef that you'll find. And yeah, this is it right here. It's looking pretty nice. So I'm super excited to cook this amazing dry aged ribeye. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna put the camera down so you guys can see it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just pat it dry. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn on my stove just so our cast iron pan starts to heat up a little bit more. Yeah, we'll just pat that dry. Get any of the excess moisture that was in that vacuum sealed bag, we'll get it out. And yeah, and again, this is from my dry aged ribeye video, first time dry aging. And yeah, I was quite like surprised with the results because it was pretty good. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on steak, let me know. I'll try to answer them. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pat this dry with the paper towel. And then we'll go ahead and season it with salt and pepper. Where did I leave the pepper grinder? Oh, I see where the pepper grinder is. Okay. So we got our pepper grinder. What is the difference between a regular and a dry aged steak? So a regular steak has not been aged. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what dry aging does is it pulls out moisture from the beef itself, and it also concentrates the flavor. And the longer you have it aging, it's gonna develop more of this like funky blue cheesy type flavor, and it also helps tenderize it. This one has been aged for 45 days, so it's gonna have a light, almost mild blue cheesy like flavor. It's not exactly like blue cheese, but it's the best way we can describe it. And the way that we dry age these is, for home dry aging, we put them in a special vacuum seal bag. The best ones in the market are probably going to be Umai dry bags. They're not sponsored, but they're pretty good. Most people use those. And we'll put them in a wire rack in a clean refrigerator. You know, you don't want bad bacteria to build up. And yeah, follow the instructions on the Umai dry kit, and it should turn out great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pat this dry. Get any of that remaining moisture. I am seeing that a lot of the fat is kind of like rendering on my hands. Kind of like Wagyu. How do I like my steak cooked? I like it cooked medium rare. I did post a video on like a bunch of just medium rare steak clips together. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and pat this dry. It's not gonna release too much moisture, just because it is already dry aged, so we did pull out most of that moisture out. And yeah. And if you guys can do me a huge favor and like this live video, it really helps out a lot. Just a simple tap for you guys, so yeah. Can you dry age Wagyu? You can dry age Wagyu. I would like to try it in the future. So that could be a possibility. Yeah, dry aging Wagyu. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Okay, enough stalling. Let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and season them very simply. With salt, freshly cracked pepper, and garlic powder. Where did I buy this steak? I got it at my local wholesale store. I got a big, not big, I would say about a 3 to 4 bone ribeye roast, which is, yeah, pretty big. And what I went ahead and did, you know, for dry aging, it's recommended that you use a bigger piece of steak, just because it is going to shrink a lot, and you're already spending like 45 days dry aging it. You might as well dry age more than one steak, more than 2-3 steaks. So people usually do a whole rib roast, or you know, whatever works for them. Oh, what's my favorite food or dish? Steak. Yeah. Salt and freshly cracked pepper. I've been using garlic powder too. Yeah, I've been using garlic powder lately, because I just find like that's the main trio that people use: salt, pepper, and garlic powder. That's like the most common. So, and it's also, it helps preserve the natural taste of the steak itself without drastically changing it, because I mean, this steak, as I said, is already dry aged, so it's already gonna have a lot of flavor. So you don't want to overpower it with a bunch of spices, unless you're doing like those dry age experiments. If you guys have seen Max the Meat Guy's videos where he does like a pumpkin spice dry aged steak, I mean, that's cool. But in terms of seasoning it, for most steaks, especially when they're high quality cuts, this is a ribeye. It's more towards the short loin area, or the New York strip, because you can see that it has a smaller fat cap, and it looks more like a New York strip. The only thing that it's distinguishing it from becoming a New York strip is this this cap right here. And you can see the separation here from the eye and the spinalis, or the eye cap, the ribeye cap. So, yeah. And pat it dry again. And so we're gonna go ahead and season this liberally with salt. And you wanna generously season, because when you put it in the pan, it's gonna lose like 30% of the seasoning on there. So you really wanna season it very generously. Hello. And again, pepper. You want it more towards the finer side, because you don't want those coarse chunks of pepper to kind of lift your steak off the pan. The reason why we can use coarse salt is because salt will just dissolve into the meat and will absorb all that moisture. Pepper is just gonna stay there. We'll also add a little bit of fine garlic powder. Just a little bit. You don't want to add too much. And then do remember that you also don't want to add like an excessive amount, because it is going to burn. Okay, we'll go ahead and flip it over, like so. Add some more salt, and this is a thick cut, so it can take a lot of salt. But you don't want to over salt it, and that's why I think using kosher salt, or like, I would say this is a medium grain salt. It's not like super fine, and it's not super coarse. But what fine sea salt will do, and that's why this is why a lot of people don't recommend it, is because it's gonna dissolve as soon as you put it on a pan. On the steak itself. So that's why a coarser grain helps you kind of tell how much salt you're putting. And then you can see here that there's kind of seasoning on the sides. I'm gonna go ahead and do is just dip those seasonings in there. Just kind of mop it all up. And you'll also tell that a dry-aged steak is like a little bit more on the stiffer side than a fresh steak. But yeah, we'll go ahead and just, we'll set that off aside. Then again, if you guys have any questions on steak, let me know. I'll try to answer it. Is it better to have a thicker fat layer? I'm assuming you mean by like the fat cap, and I don't really see a huge difference. I think it's better to have intermuscular fat or marbling. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a steak real quick to show you guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get a steak that has marbling. Okay. Got a steak right here. Yeah, you can see it has quite a lot of marbling on it. And that's what you want, that intermuscular fat. So yeah, you want the fat that's inside the beef. Like that not snowflake. Snowflake would be probably with Wagyu. But just those like lines of fat inside of it. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and set this off aside real quick. For our basting ingredients, we're gonna be using some rosemary here. I'm gonna grab some garlic. Do we have any garlic? I think we have garlic. Yep, we got garlic. We got some garlic. These cloves of garlic are on the smaller side, but yeah, we got some garlic there. And then, yeah, rosemary, garlic, butter. And we're gonna be searing this over ghee, or clarified butter. You can also use avocado oil, which works great. But I've been using ghee lately. And yeah, I just find that that works great as well. And then clarified butter also tastes great, so yeah. Although I wouldn't recommend it exactly for basting, just because it doesn't have those milk solids that give you that like buttery taste in a steak. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can like hit it like that, but in my experience, it's more painful to do it that way. Also because you can miss. I just like kind of pushing it down with the weight of your body on like this side of the palm. You just kind of push that down, and then it'll kind of just open up without like bruising it too much, which is also great. And then we'll kind of like open that up like so. Warning, your fingers are gonna smell like garlic for a while afterwards if you peel a lot of garlic. But it'll eventually go away. So we'll go ahead and just set that off aside. And we're gonna start. Gonna get some heat. And this is gonna help us. Hello, what's up guys? Our hot cast iron pan. And then our kitchen stove. So, I had the kitchen stove preheating off to the side. Uh-oh. I'm gonna go ahead and go plug that in. Just because it got disconnected right now as I was pulling it. So, my bad. I wouldn't recommend just holding it off to the side. But we're doing it just for video purposes. For live video purposes. So let's move that here. Put that pan on. This is the cast iron pan. Works great for searing. Any thick pan works too. Stainless steel, you know. Whatever works. Or whatever you have. I wouldn't recommend using a thin pan. But work with what you got. Let's see. Let's get the camera to focus a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we got our pan here. We're gonna go ahead. Grab some clarified butter, also known as ghee. Quite a little bit here. That's not working. Okay, we'll just plop that in there like so. Also gonna go ahead and add a little bit of oil. Just so our ghee has a high smoke point, but I just don't want it to burn too easily. Okay. Just move that around. You'll see that our pan is smoking right now. That's what we want. That's gonna help us create a nice sear. So, we're gonna start just rendering that fat cap. We'll just render the fat. We have some fat here too, so we'll go ahead and render that out. Gonna leave that to render for a minute. Okay. Rendering the fat. Looks like it's rendering nicely. We'll go ahead and flip it around. Render it on this side too. This is also gonna help render more fat and kind of oil up our pan even more. Okay, now very important step. Very important step. We're gonna lay away. Make it a shout out. Shout out to FR Miss. Sorry, I can't see it very well. How high do I have the heat on? I have it on medium high. Medium high heat. Below. Okay. I'm gonna render that out. I would recommend moving the pan a little bit from time to time. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. Seems I might have underestimated how much oil I was gonna need. Okay, but we'll just leave that in there like so. It's gonna get very smoky, so I would recommend opening up any windows near your kitchen, just so we let all that smoke kind of, you know, blow away. Okay, we'll go ahead and grab some tongs real quick. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab some tongs. Yeah, meat prices are very high, which is definitely not a good thing. So you can see we got a nice sear there. We'll go ahead and sear this side, and then we'll just continue flipping it, ensuring that we get a nice, we want a nice crispy crust. And if all of you guys can please do me a favor and like this live video, it'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and keep searing here. You can also move it around to where you get higher spots of heat. But yeah, you might want to turn on, like, right now I'm just doing this on the counter for video purposes, and so it's easier for you guys to see. But I would recommend doing it on your stove, you know, turn on the fan on top, open up windows, because it is going to get very, very smoky, as you see right here. But yeah, not necessarily a bad thing. Your house is going to smell like steak. But, yeah. So we just want to develop a good sear on both sides. That's really the important thing. We want to develop a really strong sear. And then, again, dry aged steak, because this is dry aged, it's gonna yeah, it's gonna cook a little bit faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my meat thermometer. I'll be right back. Now, using a meat thermometer like so is not a bad thing, okay? Because some professional chefs say they can tell by just touching it. Each piece of steak is different, okay? Right now the steak is still pretty cold, about 70. But, you know, it'll continue to get warmer and warmer. As you see, we're starting to develop a nice crust on this side. Let that camera focus. You can also use a chef press. You can press down. Of course, you don't want to press down on it right now, as it is quite hot. And yeah, since this is quite thick, after about 1 or 2 more flips, we'll go ahead and add some butter in there. Just regular butter. And then our aromatics that we're using to base. And yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can move this backwards a little bit. Okay. That should work. And then after we baste it, we're gonna go ahead and just let it rest. And again, flipping consistently is good. You can move it around, because some parts of the pan are gonna be hotter than others. And yeah, just want to get a good sear. That's all we're doing. The inside is still virtually raw, but it's going to continue to cook as we go. So yeah. So right now we're about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. which is still, yeah, pretty raw. But yeah, let's go ahead and read some comments. Awesome content. Thank you so much. Awesome, you're cooking. That's amazing. Someone asked me, like, what inspired me to start cooking. I would say, you know, just always had a passion for food. And seeing all these amazing food content creators make food, I wanted to try it. And then a few years later, I'm making cooking videos. So yeah, as you see, we have a pretty nice sear. We'll go ahead and like sear these edges. I don't usually do this, but it is a thicker piece of steak. So I want to try to sear all sides. You don't have to like completely brown it like I'm doing on the main two sides, but just, you know, you don't want it to be raw. You can also put it like on the edge of the pan like this, like so, you know, just so it touches while you're searing. There, we have a pretty nice sear developing. I'll internal temp it one more time. We're at about 110 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the heat a little bit to medium. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add some butter. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add some crushed garlic, which we'll just bruise like so. Okay, just bruise the garlic so all the aromatics come out. Some rosemary. And we'll add just a tiny 2 small knobs of butter in. Okay, now for the part that everybody loves, basting. Usually you would tilt back the pan and baste, so you guys wouldn't be able to see that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just baste like so. Grab the foaming butter, put it back. And again, usually you would tilt the pan the other way, but just for video purposes right now, this is how we're doing it. And when that butter is nice and foaming and sizzling like so, you know that all that flavor is really kind of getting in there, making a delicious, delicious steak. We'll go ahead. You can put the aromatics on top. Is great as well. Flip that steak. You want to make sure it's foaming. You don't want your pan to be super hot where it's burning, but you don't want it to be super low where the water hasn't evaporated from that butter, because you don't want to make that crust soggy. But we'll go ahead and keep basting this like so. Again, we're just pulling butter, foaming butter on top to give us that amazing, amazing flavor that restaurant steaks have. And basting is just a common thing that people do nowadays. Especially TikTok has made it very common. But yeah, steak. Go ahead and keep basting it. It's still relatively hot. You want to be careful. Okay, it's looking good. Steak is looking good. We want to check for its internal temp. What about 115 or so? More on the rare side. Yeah. Still slightly more on the rare side. Uh-oh. Okay, we don't want to get burned here, so grab our tongs. Internal temp that. Yeah, we're still a little bit more on the raw side. So we'll just keep basting this till we get our desired temperature. Yeah, a good technique that people use is also called reverse searing, or finishing it off in the oven. I'm not going to be doing that today, but if you guys want to see a reverse sear live, let me know. Yeah, but this butter is now nice and browned. As you see right there. It's brown, and it's what fat carries flavor. So as we're basting, it's carrying all that wonderful flavor from that garlic and that rosemary in there. Sorry if I can't read the comments, guys, but I will read them as soon as I finish basting this steak. But yeah, we're taking that hot butter, pulling all that flavor in there like so. I'm gonna go ahead and shake off any of that excess butter that's on the spoon. The reason I'm just using this kitchen oven mitten guard, whatever you guys want to call it, is just so I don't burn my hands, because the cast iron handle is pretty hot. So you guys really want to be careful of that. Trust me, you will burn yourself. And yeah, it gets really hot, so you want to be really careful about that. Move that around. Yeah, we'll continue cooking it. I'm aiming for a medium rare, so about 135 internal. And then dry aged steaks do cook slightly faster than normal steaks do. So you want to be aware of that. Internal temp more frequently. Okay. So you can see we're developing a nice bubbly crust, like so. Okay. We'll continue basting. And get that garlic up on that steak. We'll put this amazing rosemary. We'll just continue to baste. And just so you guys can see, I'll do it like so. Okay. Flip this. Keep flipping it consistently. Now you can kind of feel it like so. But dry aged does have a different texture. It's going to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say tougher, I would say on the stiffer side. Okay. Looks like we're good. I'm going to just drop the heat. And then we're going to go ahead and add this amazing steak right here. It's about 130. I should have pulled it a little bit earlier. Luckily, I mean, not luckily, hopefully. Uh-oh. Oh. You guys didn't see that. Okay. I'm gonna put this here for a quick minute. I didn't drop the steak. Okay. There we go. Go ahead and move this off aside for a quick second. I'm gonna put the steak back here. Save these juices for something else. You know, you can cook a bunch of stuff in here. Maybe saute some vegetables as your side dish. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move this off aside. Okay. put this over here. Steak. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Got a good sear. Definitely has that blue cheesy smell, that blue cheesy flavor from the dry aging process. So I'm gonna go ahead and internal temp it again. So I don't know if you guys can see it. It's at about It's at about 127 to like the 130 side. But it's gonna continue to keep getting it's gonna continue to cook while you rest it. People say usually you should rest it on a wire rack just so the bottom crust doesn't become soggy. You don't destroy it. You can also reawaken your crust with all that nice, beautiful pan juice. But yeah, we'll go ahead and let this to rest. I'm gonna go ahead and check the comments real quick. That looks good. Thank you. You want to make a steak, you gotta find a cast iron pan. You don't need a cast iron pan. You can also use a stainless steel pan. Or any pan that's just heavy in general. Heavy bottom pan. That conducts heat. So, yeah. Yeah, thank you. It's amazing. Also, sometimes, you're not gonna be able to get a good sear. This time we did actually get a pretty good sear. We did get a good sear, and yeah, we did get a good sear. But if you don't get a good sear, I usually just, you can put it under the broiler too, and we'll get a good sear. And I use different types of salts. Okay, we have this salt, which is regular kosher salt. I have like a whole collection of salt, like different flaky salts and stuff, which I'm gonna go ahead and grab right now. I have like applewood smoked salt from Osmo. I have like regular coarse super crisply flaky salt. Have Osmo white flaky salt. I have a Cook name Max flaky salt too on one of those shelves over there. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slice into the steak right now. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put it in. We're gonna go ahead and cut it open right now. Got these like little cutting boards to cut steak. Like one portion steak or like one steak. This is a pretty big steak. It'll feed like 1 to 2 people. And of course if you start adding side dishes. How do I... Okay. We'll go ahead and cut into it in just a second. Also, if you guys can help me out and like this live, yeah, that'll be greatly appreciated. Okay. Looks like we got a piece of garlic there. Sorry. Thank you for liking. Sorry, I think the live kind of froze for a minute. Or so, and we'll cut into it. So, yeah. Do like a quick little spin, showing off the steak. Let's pick it up. If you guys are wondering, this is not beef blood or anything. It's, we call it myoglobin. which is just essentially meat juice. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and cut into it in a minute or so. By the way, this steak has been dry aged for 45 days. I have a full-length video on it. After we're done with this live, I'll go ahead and post the link in the description of this live for the dry aged ribeye video. So yeah, it's a full-length video. It's a little bit on the yeah, it's a little bit on the longer side for videos. Stream is lacking. Uh-oh. Can I make a New York style steak? I actually have a New York strip steak right here, which is cool. And yes, I will be cooking this. The video is probably not going to be out by tomorrow, but it'll be out soon. You're amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of comments saying that I'm lagging. If I'm lagging, please let me know. Yeah, please let me know if I'm lagging. Thank you, everybody, for letting me know. If I'm still lagging, please let me know. I'm gonna see if I can do it. Yeah, let me know if I'm still lagging. It stopped. Okay, awesome. Looks so good. Thank you. Yeah, it smells amazing. I will say that dry age is a little bit more different, but it's like you start to appreciate its flavor. Okay. Put that there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my my special occasion chef's knife. Go ahead and get that. Ken Knife Co. You guys can use my code to get 20% off. Yeah, thank you. Looks amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and start by separating the eye from the cap. This is the best part of the ribeye. Like the knife, thank you. If you guys want to get this knife, I'll also link it in the description of this live as soon as it's over. Yeah. Can I make salmon? I haven't made salmon in a while, but yes. I need to find some salmon, though. Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for any, like, food that you want to see me make, let me know. Yeah, this is amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and just put on a glove. Just so hand doesn't get super greasy and oily. Okay. Best part, I'm telling you guys. We'll cut into that lastly. We'll save the best for last. Alright, ready? I hope it's like fully cooked. Not fully cooked, but like, you know, it's... Oh my god. Oh my god. That's perfect for me right there. I'm speechless. It smells so good. We do have a little bit of a gray band, which isn't ideal, but I mean, it's pretty minimal. Ramen, yes, ramen. I will have to make ramen in the future, but... Oh my god. Actually, one of the best steaks I've cooked in a while. It's like super juicy. Okay, let's try it out. It's gonna have that blue cheesy flavor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's get some flaky salt on there. Flaky salt. Wow. Now, some people may say that this is raw. For me, this is perfect. This is amazing. Hashtag 1 million, yes. Yep. I mean, this is amazing. I'm gonna take another bite. Oh, before we forget. The spinalis. I think it's called the spinalis dorsii, I'm not sure. Cut that in half. Also, that crust. Ooh, you can't beat that crust right there. So that's a really strong crust. Okay, we'll just slice into it like that. You want to cut it, always steaks cut against the grain. But you know, for this steak, it doesn't even matter because it's super tender. Super, super flavorful. Doesn't really matter. The cap is a little bit more on the medium side. Still pretty good though. But let's do this. That is amazing. So, I really hope this live helped you guys out and like how to properly cook a steak, a dried steak. Yeah, on my channel, it's probably like posted that video like 3 months ago, but 4 months ago, but it's a video on dried steak. By the way, this is from like the very first time I dried a steak. Huge thank you to Max the Meat Guy for all the wonderful suggestions. Okay, so cutting against the grain. If you look super closely, the steak is gonna have like lines. You know, it's kind of separated into lines. That's the grain right there. And you'll see it here. If you cut it with the grain, which is on this side like so, it won't be as tender. If you cut it against the grain, so you see these, if you look really closely, you'll see like steak has lines. Okay. You want to cut it against. Let's see. See those lines right there? Like on the very top here, you want to cut against that. You don't want to cut with it. You want to cut against it. So it's like, okay, the grain is 2 lines like this, right? Say this is the grain. Right here. My fingers are going to be the grain here, okay? You want to cut it like, you don't want to cut it like this. Okay, that's with the grain. Cutting against the grain is like this. So on the steak, you have to find the grain of it. Can I make Chinese food out of Chick-fil-A? I could. And you guys have all amazing suggestions, and I will definitely consider a lot of these for future videos. I'll add some flaky salt on there. Salt Bay action. Oh, I just made a mess. Okay. Steak. Cheers. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we're towards the end of the live, but we did make this amazing dry aged steak. So, yeah. Okay. So, we're gonna wrap up the live. Huge thank you to everyone that joined. I had so much fun with this live today. If you guys want to see more lives, please let me know. I definitely enjoyed making these lives. We made a dry-aged ribeye steak. Got a nice crust on there. Nice medium rare. Almost edge to edge. Got a slight gray band. Yeah, awesome. I saw your comment. Super cool that you're making steak at 13. Awesome. Steak is definitely one of my favorite things to cook, so yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna work on doing more lives. Follow me on Instagram too. I do lives there. You can, right after, I believe it's here for you guys. Click on my channel. Go to the top where it says like videos, community, stuff like that. Go all the way to about, and then you'll see the links to my Instagram and TikTok. Go ahead and follow me there. But yeah, we'll definitely work on doing some more lives. And let me know like any live suggestions. Usually it's just steak and knife skills. Sorry. But yeah. Yes, my link tree also contains all my links. So you guys can click on that. You'll see like all products. This knife right here, from Ken Knife Co. It's on my link tree. You can use code NICO20 to get 20% off on orders over $99, which is pretty nice. So huge thank you to Ken Knife Co. for that. And then, yeah. And then you'll see like my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm working on posting a few more long form videos as well. And yeah, so super amazing stuff coming up. Thank you all so much for joining this amazing live. Super fun to just, talk to you guys through the comments. And yeah, beef stew. I know I've seen that pop up a lot. We will definitely work on doing some beef stew. Okay, well, if you guys have any last questions on cooking, let me know. I'll go ahead and answer them. But if not, we'll go ahead and end the live. How long have I been cooking? It's been almost 4 years, I would say. 3.5 maybe. Yeah, 3.5 to 4 years of cooking, so yeah. Chinese Chick-fil-A, yep. I've seen that one a lot. I don't have a Chick-fil-A that near me, but definitely when I go, I'll get some stuff. Make a video. Don't stop making cooking videos. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for all the support. I just posted a short today in the morning, so if you guys want to check it out, it's all about steak. Medium rare steak. So, thank you all so much. Have I made Chinese rice? Not yet, but I will. I always want to try new things, so I'll probably do that in the future. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining this live. Gonna go ahead and right after this live, maybe like 10-20 minutes from now, I will edit the description so you guys will be able to see all my links and stuff there. And then I will link my Instagram. I will link Ken Knives. I will link the dried steak video. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat that. Sorry, if I was looking over here to this side, the comments are on this side, so I'm kind of reading through the comments. Fancy ramen. Okay, you guys have all wonderful suggestions, and some of them will be turned into videos hopefully soon. But yeah. Alright everyone, have a nice rest of your day. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!